Kubor nakaslem jong unongsan Hima.
Ka Sorkar jelah ni kesngi kalai syong perkat sani bha banyatai halor kumno ban Pynkhlaiñ ya ka Tnat Pulit hapo ka jelahi bro kawai habai keren bat kilat pathai kubor menteri rangba ka jela ukon rat sangma ula pentip ba ka Sorkar kalai yatai bha habai dei ba ka jing Pynkhlaiñ ya ka Tnat Pulit laga dei ya ki Pulit station ki baladon lupa lani banbu Thymmai haki jeka ki badon kam banbu Menteri rangba ula pentip bro ba hagini ki kendiat tayo ke Sorkar kan sasim ya karai habaya dei mat ke jing Pynkhlaiñ ya ke jing don ke Pulit kelaya keren ro kumno ban Pynkhlaiñ ya ka cyber crime banbu ya ke Pulit peniat kali haki district baper baru banbu ya ka Tnat jung ke Pulit kentai haki district Nagaliang Menteri rangba ula yuturo ba ke Sorkar ka doni ke jing Tmu ban tau Thymmai ya ka wei pat ka Battalion Hakaba Nagaliang jong ke Sorkar kadang pej benia habaya dei bat ke jinglot jingsep ban tau Thymmai ya kane ka kanhon Pulit.
Yes, we had a meeting because we have felt that there is a strong need to strengthen the police force, and that is from three angles. First angle is to improve the existing infrastructure in the outpost police stations and battalions that are already existing, to train the manpower which we already have, and to ensure that the current system that is there, without expanding it, how to improve it. So that aspect was discussed in detail and a very good report was given. We have gone through it. We are going to do another round of consultation with the SPs. And within a week to 10 days, we'll be taking a final decision on this first part of improving the existing outpost, police stations, battalions, and the manpower, how to upgrade things. Second aspect that was discussed was the expansion and the of the overall presence of outposts in different critical zones, and also the filling up of post and manpower required to make things more efficient in most of the districts and police stations and outposts. So, for example, the cyber crime, division. So we need to strengthen those. So it's already existing, but we need to augment it by having more investment, more human resource, qualified people. A lot of the districts, they don't have a traffic branch. They don't have women's police stations. So how to expand the existing areas and getting more manpower and infrastructure within the system, so that we can augment and improve things. So that was the second part. So that means this will lead to creation of new posts, it will lead to creation of new locations, and ensuring that the existing locations also where manpower is less will also be improved. So that also a very detailed presentation was given. And for that also, again, as I said, it will be taken as a whole, and then we'll have to look at the entire implications financially and otherwise to ensure that we take the right decision. So therefore, this aspect also will be combined with the first aspect which I was mentioning. Third aspect of the discussion was regarding raising of new battalions. And there also, the police department, the DGP and the ADG and other officials have placed on record the need to go for new battalions, and therefore now we are examining those aspects and seeing what are the financial implications, the support that the government of India will give, different rules and regulations that are into this, and really balance out also between this entire decision making of investing in the existing system and augmenting the existing system and creating new systems, and trying to see how best we can use the limited resources that are there in order to get the maximum benefit in all these three areas. So these were the discussions. I cannot go into details of what we discussed because those are still micro details and final decision has not been taken. But in broad, that was discussion that took place, and in broad, the framework that we had discussed was in this framework. But what is most important is the government is very committed to ensure that we strengthen our police system, infrastructure, upgrade our manpower, increase the manpower where it's required, and expand wherever it's possible, so that we have a much more robust and stronger police network and a system in place. The center will support us in terms of certain percentage of raising these battalions. And after the battalions are raised, then within a year's time, the entire financial impact will fall on the state government to run this. So, with the initial investment that is not that big compared to the overall impact in the next 15, 20, 30 years to come, so we have to examine all those aspects. As I mentioned, should it go into, suppose we have to spend 100 crores, should it go into improving the existing outposts, existing battalions, which many of them require a lot of infrastructure. Many of the police stations don't have the required manpower. We need money for the cybercrime wing. We need money for the women's police and strengthening that in all the districts. So therefore, should we go and strengthen this first and then look at expanding the battalions, or should we expand the battalion and let the existing system remain as where it is? These are the kind of decisions that government has to go through and think carefully before we commit to it. So yes, Government of India will give us in the first year certain percentage of the running expenditure and certain percentage of the non-running expenditure, but that's very minimum. The main burden, on almost 95% of the burden at the end, in the next 15 to 20 years, 30 years, will have to be borne by the state government. So it's a decision that we have to take in a very judicious manner to ensure that we use our resources in the best way possible so that we can improve our overall police structure. If the resources are unlimited, then definitely we would like to go for 7th, 8th battalion, as well as women's police everywhere, cybercrime, traffic stations everywhere, improve our outposts, have the manpower. But obviously we all work with certain constraints, and that's where the right decision and choices have to be made.
Have you got any confirmation from the LO or the speaker about visiting the COVID wards?
No, I have not got any confirmation from them yet, but maybe in a day or two I will be visiting myself. So I would once again request them also to come. In fact, not just the LO and speaker, but all the other members who were there that day in the COVID review. I once again urge them all that we should, because it will send a very positive message to the people, and especially to the health community who are working day and night in very, very difficult times. All these are very important. As I said, you see, we have a lot of police infrastructure. We have battalions everywhere. But the fact remains that half these battalions don't have the manpower, the infrastructure that is required. Half these police stations don't have the manpower, infrastructure required. A lot of the forensic labs, a lot of, as I said, other cybercrime labs, these are lacking in the infrastructure right now. So obviously all of this comes at a cost. So we need to balance out and realize that what decision to make, prioritize our decision making, and invest in a proper manner. For example, I have already decided that 80 crores is what we are going to invest, which was part of the budget already, in the existing infrastructure. But apart from this 80 crores in the existing infrastructure, we still need much more. So therefore, keeping all these factors in mind, we are going to see the big picture, which we have seen today for the first time. We saw all the different aspects, but we now brought all of this together and got the blueprint ready. And now we will decide on which one to move first.
Thank you.
Thank you.